In this interesting episode, we want to look at YouTube as a business, and particularly we are zooming into YouTubers that have mastered this thing called YouTube. And today's episode, we're going to look at Ndibuti. We will be looking at other YouTubers from a business perspective. We're going to look at that from a business perspective, but we'll look at it as well from all angles, you know what I'm saying? So in this episode, we look at people that makes different, but they are different is just start by a smartphone and it translates into what we call it today, this big thing where they've got cameras that they are recording professional, but they all started with just a smartphone. So with that being said, if you are interested to get into this journey, then please stick around. To those that will stick around, guys, if you're not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Because to subscribe it is free, to like the video it is free, to comment in the comment section below, good people, it is free of charge. Now, when talking about Ndibuti, you've got to pay her respect. There are so many reasons why you need to pay respect to this woman. Number one, she herself have said it that she used to work at Pepcell. She was just a cleaner, married to this guy who is quality control, quality engineer, something like that, at one of those companies. Now, having said that, she said that they were in debt because of bad decisions. Starting a YouTube has been always about making money. At some point in her own videos, she acknowledged that with just one channel, the T-World, which have just recently made up to or actually reached 200,000 subscribers, and for that we say congratulations to the queen. But we do not want to be this type of people that fall in love with the perfect image that she has became, but we want to zoom into the process or a process that led her into what she has become today. Well, if you look at the fact that she said, if I'm gonna make 120,000 rand a month, I know what or how I need to push hard and I know where to touch. And I believe her in that one. Not long ago, she said about the growing channel called Ndibuti, where she features her husband. Also, it's one of the channels that is doing exceptionally well, and you've got to give it to her for that, because wow, she's the best. She's killing it. You know what I'm saying? It's a channel that not long ago she revealed that she made 1,700 and I forgot 700 and something US dollars in just 1 month. And I calculated that, and I can tell you that it was just that, I think it was above 20,000 rand if you translate it into rands. So that tells you with one channel she's competing with a teacher, because teachers get around 22,000 rand, 24,000 rand. With just one channel she's competing with a teacher. You know what I'm saying? She's getting a salary. With the others, she's competing with CEOs. And she's got multiple channels, and she's got people working for her. That's an interesting part of it. Having said that, there's something that we need to pay attention to here. And that is, take for instance, if you were to run a business, a Kotas puzzle shop, that you would probably make 40,000 rand if it's a business puzzle shop. So that means Ndibuti started with just a smartphone. She is capable of making 3 times what you are making, having maybe 3 cameras and that equipment. So it tells us that she's actually beating a lot of people in terms of business revenue. She has mastered this thing called YouTube, that she can compete with some of the businesses that you think they are doing well. By the way, the other time I went to one of the malls and I asked a rough estimation of how much Shoprite will make, and they told me that the rental for Shoprite alone is 150,000 rand a month. So they estimated that Shoprite will make between 5 million rand a month. So if you look at Ndebuti, she's not in that league. But then I went and checked around the other small shop that you find in your mall. Was it 10 square meters? This is where it gets interesting. She's actually can compete with the shops that you find in those in those malls. Some of those shops you can take them head on, toe to toe, and some of them she can beat them big time. Because being in the mall sometimes doesn't mean business. It means that you can pay a good rent and maybe be left with 50k. So it tells us that we can't just look at YouTube from an ignorance point of view, but we need to look at YouTube from a business point of view. An interesting question that I think it has to be asked here is, if you were to start a YouTube channel, what's the vision? What's the goal behind it? Why do you want to start a YouTube channel? You know what I'm saying? For me, it has always been about the fact that I love talking. So I want to give value, and as I give value for that, I get paid for what I give out. Do you see the point? It's simple. I want to grow and become the best presenter in the country. But as I grow in becoming the best presenter, I'm also getting paid for the contribution that I'm giving to people. And that's how I envision it. You know what I'm saying? I want to be a speaker. I don't want to be a motivational speaker. I'm not a motivational speaker. I don't want to be an informational speaker, no. But I want to be an inspirational speaker. I want to be that guy. When he speaks to you, he speaks to your conscience. I want to be that guy who can say words that sometimes may not make sense today, but will make sense tomorrow. I want to be that guy who speaks words that doesn't expire, doesn't have expiry date. 10 years, 50 years down the line, you go back to what I've said 50 years back, you still find it relevant. That you can only find it in people who call them inspirational speakers, because they don't speak to please your emotions, but they speak to make sense to your conscience and to your mind. And that's the vision that brought me into YouTube, and that's the reason I came to YouTube, because it allows me to do that. So with that therefore being said, I looked at these big YouTubers and I saw that I can actually, without just looking at the money that they made, I can also learn and become a better version of myself while I am in this thing called YouTube, where I'm making a business. There are a lot of things that, hey guys, there's a lot that I think we need to unpack in this thing called YouTube. It's a business within a business. There's been an argument. The other time I was listening to or watching a video by Ndebuti, and the husband was refuting the fact that she can't call herself businesswoman because she's working for YouTube. And I was like, no. The best way to look at this is, if you have a car on the Bolt platform or on Uber, if you own a car, you register a car, maybe you get a driver or you drive for yourself. Do you know how they recognize you? They recognize you as a contractor. This means Uber is a platform that allows other businesses to thrive within these businesses. They are recognized as other businesses. You get the point? If you take a similar concept, you bring it to somebody that just gotten a tender. Then if you have a tender of building a construction, you're building this road that is probably 200 kilometers, but you don't have everything that is needed. then you go get what we call it subcontractors. Subcontractors may have this and that material. They are actually the ones that are going to do the work for you. You're going to be the one that collects the money from the guy or the company, the institution that gave you the tender. It means there is a business that gave a certain business a tender, and the business B gave businesses to business A, you know what I'm saying, to these smaller businesses. So if you've got it in 3 stages: Transnet, the individual that won the tender from Transnet, and the people that came and worked for the individual. If you're looking at these 3 people, they are all business people or business institution. The difference is the category. It's the category in which they operate in. The difference is the power in which they have, but they are both businesses. With this example, you're taking it back to Ndibuti. You still come back with one answer. She's a contractor on YouTube. She is still recognized as a business, because when you reach 100,000 subscribers, you get into what we call it YouTube Black, where they assign people, they help you with a lot of things that we as small YouTubers, we don't get it. But because of that, you are known as a person. How can I say? I want the right word. Let's say you have money, a certain portion of money that an average person doesn't have. If you go to a banking sector, because you've got that certain amount of money that a lot of people don't have it, they will give you preferences, and also you get a private banker. It's more or less the similar situation that happens on YouTube, because they recognize you as a person that has mastered the game. Ndibuti, she deserves to be recognized as a businesswoman within a business called YouTube, because the skills she has acquired gives her the privilege to say, even if YouTube were to shut down, because of the skills and everything, she can still go to another platform or create her own platform. By the way, Ndibuti has got a blog still operating on Google. There are so many businesses to amplify this point, because if you refute the claim that Ndibuti is not a businesswoman because she operates on YouTube, then you've got it wrong. Let me show you why. Google is a platform that allows certain services to operate in. But how many businesses do you find on Google? You find articles released by business companies such as Kickoff, such as Isolezwe, such as The Citizens. Does it make them less of a business just because they operate in a platform called Google? No. They are still businesses. But it means that Google allows other businesses to thrive within a business called Google. Perfect example. Now you get it. Now that I've given you all of that, what does it tell you? It tells you that you can be a business that operates in another business platform, but it doesn't make you less of a business. By the way, there are so many institutions that have got YouTube channels on YouTube that operates as businesses. You know what I'm saying? Kaizer Chiefs, for instance, is an institution, is a business company. Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, they've got their own YouTube channels on YouTube, but it doesn't make them less of a company just because they operate on YouTube. Certainly not. Do you see the narrative that we are bringing here? We are basically saying all of us, we are actually business people. Remember, just the last point here. If you go to SARS, how do they recognize you as a YouTuber? If you have to pay tax, they recognize you as a freelancer. A freelancer is a business person that can work with other businesses as well. So they don't recognize you as an employee or you know what I'm saying, of a company. No, they recognize you as an influencer, freelancer. what does it tell you? It tells you that either you are the business or you have a business. With the amount of money that Ndibuti makes, with all of her channel, it qualifies her to give her the title. The question that I have for you is, what have we learned from people like Ndibuti? Because if we need to appreciate them, we need to appreciate them now while they're still alive. There are quite a number of lessons that we can learn from Ndibuti. There are a lot of things that I believe we need to unpack when we talk about the likes of Ndibuti. Sorry, I'm going to do that. We're going to look at the way she posts, the type of content that she does, why so many YouTube channels, why has she mastered this thing called YouTube? Because from what I know and what I've studied, she's actually the #1 YouTuber in this country for me, based on what I've studied. She knows and she understands YouTube, and she understands how to make money on YouTube, and hence there are a lot of lessons to be learned from Ndibuti alone. By the way, not long ago, Sims confessed that ever since she got closer to Ndibuti, she's actually making more money as when she was operating alone. What does that tell you? Don't worry, I'll give you more. Don't worry. We're gonna go into this series where we unpack these YouTubers one by one, and we're looking at their successes, and you know what I'm saying? Because here we must take this thing and bringing it to young people who are sitting out there, who have a smartphone but knows nothing how to operate the smartphone, how to use the smartphone to their advantage, how to use the smartphone to the best of its ability. A lot of young people do not understand that. They are complaining, waiting for government to create jobs, waiting for government to give them money, but while they have the power in their hands. So we're looking at people who took the power that was in their hands, use it to their advantage. The likes of Mr. Red Life, the likes of Umkosi Entertainment, the likes of Owami Entertainment, the likes of Sims Right, you name them. You're the likes of Ricky, the guy who owned the channel that is sitting on 70,000 subscribers. It's a reality TV, what. Those type of different content, we will bring them together here, talk about them from a business point of view, how they started, where they are now, how you can change your life just by looking at them. Don't worry, in this new series, we'll be looking at that. You have a right to suggest your things that you think we need to learn from these big YouTubers. Don't worry, we'll do that. We'll do justice on that one. Are you interested to do that? Get into the comment section below. Tell me what you've got to think about it, because we gotta get into it. We're gonna break it down one by one. Things that are important for us to learn from these people. Till the next episode, good people, please take care.